Welcome back, everybody. The BSL is continuing with our winners match best of three. Both of these first two best of threes have actually been really, really incredible. The most incredible, I found out what the name of that color was in the last game. It was olive. I still like stinky green, but some of these colors, man, they call cobalt bluish gray. They also have a dark aqua color. Who's coming up with these names? I have no idea. I mean, it's cool that there's like basically you can taste the rainbow now in Brood War, but there's some crazy colors out there. So it's a brave new world here, Nyoken.
Yeah, at least they give you the option to pick your color. I know that that's an issue for some players because I'm good friends with Rhett, and one of the things he hates about Brood War is like the default opponent being red all the time, because he said that it's hard to pick up some units, or like the nuke dot, for example, it just mixes into the minimap, or it mixes into the map for him. So it is nice that you can pick your colors. But we do have Dragon versus SPX now, a Terran versus...
That's right. So it's going to be a TVP. Wait, does Dragon Race pick TVP? No, it's just ZVP, right?
Yeah, it's just EVP, so this is going to be Protoss versus Terran.
Yeah, okay, alright, great, got it. I think actually, like, both players have just been looking fantastic. I would say that I never know what to expect from Dragon, but he's just been looking fantastic today, so got no reason to root against him. For SPX, you know, he has never made it past the round of 16 for the BSL, so maybe after Season 5 and Season 6, maybe Season 7 is his season.
Could be strong Protoss, but he's going to be going up against a strong Terran who just has endless amounts of units in SPX.
Yeah, definitely true. Let's find out. Let's get into our first game of the winners match best of 3 to find the first player that will be moving on from Group A into the round of 8. All right, hold on. I got to get my color-coded thing so I can do an accurate job introducing our players. In the upper right-hand corner of the map, Sylphid. In hold on. I got this. In the bluish gray. Holy cow! I'm casting a player in bluish gray. I never thought we'd have the technology. Wow. This is SPX.
In the bottom left. Not sporting the olive this time. It is just yellow. It is
actually, you want to know the sad truth? I believe this is actually pale yellow.
Pale yellow. Well, I thought SPX might be turning pale yellow because I thought we were going to have a forward gate, but it is just going to be standard play from Trek.
Yeah, I too was getting a little bit queasy. Seeing what we could expect out here. Actually, none of our players have really done anything like super cheesy. I guess Tai2 did a little bit of cheese in his first game, but he got kind of smacked down after that. So I don't know if that counts. But yeah, happy to see like strong games between very strong players. I think SPX has kind of not surprised me because he's always done well in BSL, but he is really looking super solid. Although there's a ton of really interesting things to talk about. I mean, you were talking about TVZ earlier, and how some of these maps can really scare you, like Gladiator and then Sylphid here. But what do you think about Sylphid for TVP?
Terran versus Protoss, I think, is pretty decent. You can get 3, 4, even 5 base somewhat easily. You got to be a little bit careful about recalls. There's a lot of surface area into the main. But other than that, I don't really have an issue with Sylphid from the Terran point of view. And for Protoss, I think it's equally fine for Protoss because they're going to be able to get another main pretty easily, and because it's a 3-player map, it's not like Terran can split it, so they're always going to have an econ advantage in that sense. So I think it's pretty fine for both sides. But if we were talking at like the super pro level, I think is a little bit Terran favored just because of how strong and limited amount of bases Protoss can have. Terran can just go to the other main, kill it, and then Protoss is a bit out of money at that point.
A bit, yeah, that's quite true. So at least for the openers, just trying to keep an eye on that. With no like forward or aggressive buildings or plays or really anything. Sometimes you'll see the Terran player like build. I really like it when the Terran like proxies the barracks, just in case it's like a 12 nexus, and then you can really punish. And actually, we've seen quite a few 12 nexuses last season. This season, not the season of that many 12 nexus. So wouldn't have been able to really punish that much.
Yeah, about... Ooh, probe goes down. Not a huge deal, but SPX could transition a few SCVs onto the gas if he wanted to mix it up and go for something like a 2-fact. Versus someone like Casper or Artosis, you would have to be very careful to lose your probe that quickly. But SPX so far is not doing that, but he is building a lot of Marines, and when I play SPX on ladder TVT, he does like to get aggressive with Marines. This might just be an FD push, and DragOn's going for the 21 Nexus. He's got to be a bit careful.
You know, he does. He's got a second gateway on the way, so already starting to get up there. And I'm imagining, in my brain, I'm expecting a robo after this. But he also has no scouting information on the other side of the map, so it is a strange, grimdark world out there. And right as SPX gets in and sees this Nexus coming up, he is going to know pretty much everything.
I like how DragOn didn't chase this SCV with the Dragoon, because if he did, he would never know that these Marines are just sitting out here. And if I was Protoss in this point of view and see a Terran moving this far out with 4 Marines, first off, why do you have 4 Marines? And second, why are you feeling so confident to send this far? That DragOn may already be tipped off that this is going to be a push.
I don't know. You just always have to ask yourself, what are they hiding? Why are they out here? What are they doing? But sometimes there's just nothing behind this, and they're just kind of fronting. But you're right. That is an awful lot of Marines. And here comes pesky Mr. Tank number 1.
Yep, and he's going to be coming in here pretty quickly. It's only 2 Dragoons, but if you can get out 2 more, that's going to be the magic number to start one-shotting Marines. But they're already going to be almost completely at the natural, and there's no completed robotics just yet. DragOn's in big-time trouble taking big hits from these tanks.
Yeah, he absolutely is. He cannot afford to be losing Dragoons right now. He's got 3. He's got to stutter step his little Dragoon heart out, or whatever they have in place of hearts. Trying to take out this tank, but he's only able to fire just a couple of pot shots. He has nothing to deal with these mines, even just the Marines. Starting to take out these Dragoons as they just get pushed further and further back. Oh, my goodness.
Well, just barely. DragOn is going to hold for now. He's really worried that that 3rd Dragoon was going to go down, but now at least SPX has a mine contain, and DragOn's going to be forced to build some more units. It's not like he's just going to have free reign to go take a 3rd base. So even though SPX didn't get any probe kills, at least he's got that going for him. And behind this, he is expanding. He's going to match the expansion. He does have a very fast second fact. We may have a follow-up attack pretty soon once he gets a more consolidated tank count.
Sorry, I have some minor technical difficulties. All right, we're back. I can see my monitor again. Yeah, I'm just waiting to see whether or not SPX wants to kind of force the issue. I mean, the soft contain is pretty cool, but I don't think DragOn was really looking to move out on the map at this point anyway. So, I mean, what is the real benefit of getting this contain at this point?
Yeah, actually, SPX needs to turn around because soft contains don't really work versus Protoss because they're just going to build a shuttle, zealot bomb you, and if they wipe out the tanks, you're in big trouble. But as I say that, I didn't realize that Silted, you're right up against the minerals. You can kill these probes.
Wow, what? Oh my gosh, what a map. Oh, a beautiful thing we are watching here in Ioken. This is like in the end of the book, The Heart of Darkness, where Kurz is left with nothing else to say but the horror, and then the book just ends. Much like This is horrific, and the game might just end. Look at these siege shots. Oh my gosh, this is horrific. The mines coming down, they're getting target fired. The tanks getting off tons of bonus shots. The mine, no! Oh my gosh, I just yelled at the top of my lungs at 4 a.m. in the morning because that mine was so Craigasm.
And he didn't even get the last tank. I thought for sure DragOn was just gonna wipe the floor with these 2 tanks, but instead SPX gets one of the biggest hits that he possibly could have gotten with this one mine. And behind this, he is continuing the pressure because we've got 4 FAC coming up. There's a probe in his vein. He doesn't realize that DragOn could see what's going on. This might be a bit of an overextension. Gonna lose these 2 tanks, probably.
Wow, more mine hits just going off there. Oh, I mean, sure, you killed the tanks. Congratulations. What did it take you, like 20 supply of Dragoons?
Yeah, he spent a lot to just wipe out these couple tanks, but SPX is trading pretty well, but now he needs to start turning around. If he wants to keep pressure up, maybe continue pressure with the vultures and try to look for something like a vulture run by at one point. But this tank, it needs to try and get back to its base if it can.
Yeah, I think it will be able to make it back there. Obviously, it's being tailed by this observer, but eventually that observer is going to run into Mr. Missile Turret, which is not its BFF for sure.
Now DragOn wants to try and get something done, but he's going to see that there's really nothing he can do. SPX has a few tanks set up, a few mines. He's transitioning into the armory. I'm a little bit surprised he didn't go into 5 or 6 FAC just based on how he was pressuring, but I guess he's decided that he'd rather go into a more longer-ish game. Meanwhile, DragOn taking the 3rd base, everything's pretty fine and dandy for him.
Yeah, I think kind of right on schedule for DragOn, right? And what is the thought behind expanding to the upper 3rd base, mineral only, instead of trying to go south and take more gas bases?
Well, he definitely doesn't want to take this high ground base. We saw him do that on Silphid earlier because it has limited resources. The mineral only, it's farther away from the Terran. Now, if he takes this top mid base, that might be a bit much because Terran could potentially drop there easily. But if he sets up defense there, it would be just a direct line for an Arbiter to go for a recall. Also, it's somewhat on Terran's side of the map, so if you just mine that out, that's a base that Terran doesn't get. But yeah, I kind of agree. It is a little weird that he didn't take bottom middle, but this is also a fine base.
Yep, I mean, he's going to be right in position to defend it. There's mines being laid are always annoying, especially since the hits have been so crazy this game. Oh, but I mean, if he can hold it, then that's a great staging area, especially if he wants to try something like carriers, because there's just this gigantic open no man's land in the upper part of the map. You can just sit carriers there forever, or drops, or whatever. Really, the back of the Terran base is so wide open.
SPX is moving out like he wants. He may be expanding right now, but he's taking this high ground base, and it's so close to the Protoss' base that this mineral only may come back to backfire, because if he sets up a position over that little river on the by the bridge, not only can he just blast units coming from the bridge, but he can also engage the Nat or the 3rd base very easily.
Wait to see it in hand, because this tank line's getting like worryingly deep. Oh no, not these Dragoons. And oh wow, they survived.
Did you see that? That he dropped the Zealot on top of all the tanks and none of the tanks fired. I thought for sure we were going to see SPX wipe out his tank line. So a really good stop control on those tanks.
Is that what that was? I'm not sure how exactly you do that. I feel like, oh, there's another Zealot dropping down, but once again, no collateral damage.
That's so far so good for SPX, and this is starting to just a big mine hit onto those Dragoons, and DragOn's getting strangled out. Where does he go now?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, SPX just is winning in almost every category. He's got an almost supply advantage. He's got the worker advantage, which is what? And now he's got the positional advantage, sieging his way all the way through so many mines loaded up. It's going to take a miracle for Dragon to be able to bust out of this. He's going to need some sick mind drags.
Yeah, and Dragon, he has to save top left, but he can't let these tanks get any closer because where can he go from there? Look at him. Dragoon's just barely in front of the bridge, and they just get blasted down by a few tanks. And what does Dragon have? What does Dragon have really for late game? I've checked his main. He's got a Citadel. There's no Archive. There's no Arbiter.
And we're seeing vehicle plating and Charon boosters being upgraded just in case there were going to be some crazy shuttle or carrier shenanigans. SPX is already just covering his bases. He's just getting so solid that it's going to be almost impossible for Dragon to bust out of here. But all it takes is one crazy mind drag, and maybe things will be different.
And SPX's mines, they're everywhere in front of this army, so this is great from him. I'd like to see more around the edges because really Dragon's only hope is to go around the side, maybe go for a counterattack and hope SPX turns around or slowly pushes the third in main or third in natural. Right now he can't engage SPX's army. It's just, there's too many tanks, too many mines everywhere.
Yeah, how do you go about taking this out? Like, you're gonna need either like Arbiter tech or like some carrier switch that would take a million years. So wow, I think he's just gonna have to try to either circumvent it, subvert it, go around somewhere else on the map and try to hit there. Because I don't know if there's any way he breaks through any of that, tank line.
Yeah, and SPX must have scanned and saw Dragon looping around because he's repositioning his army, and this is perfect.
I think we're about to go for it. He's trying to run up on these tanks, but oh no, the indecision. He takes a couple of hits, has to run away almost immediately. Now he's going to try to go through all these minefields, but look, the shuttle's being targeted down. It will die, and I think so will the rest of Dragon's army here.
Yeah, supplies just plummeted 140 to 100 now. This is going to be the end of Dragon. This was perfect from SPX, like actually perfect.
Yeah, I think he played kind of the slow and steady wins the race. I feel like he let Dragon kill himself rather than actually go killing him.
Man, those mine hits on the Dragoons. They killed like 5 or 6 Dragoons. And this is just going to be SPX rolling him over. GG. SPX the favorite, man. He looked really good versus Tai 2, and now he looks really good versus Dragon.
All right, apologies for the camera. I'm having a lot of problems with my monitor and camera as it's like turning off. It's back on for now, so you get to gaze upon my beautiful visage. But wow, what a beautiful game there by SPX. I feel like it's games like this that make players just say, well, I mean, what do you do against Terran? I'm like, well, I mean, I guess specifically that, then yes, you have to play it a little bit differently, but yeah, Dragon really couldn't get out ahead of what was just like kind of a slow and steady crawl across the map. And I mean, losing a million supply of Dragoons to mines doesn't help, Yeah,
but when he handled the Marine and tank push, he did lose 2 Dragoons, but when he stopped and he had his Nexus going, I thought for sure that he was just going to explode, but SPX relentless with the tanks and mines.
Well, I mean, it's a best of 3, so that's only game number 1. We could have a very long series on our hands here, so I'm just going to go ahead and get into the second game. Looks like that is ready. I'm loading in. Whoosh. You're already here. Wow. Okay, I got to step up my game. But the map is Gladiator. Oh boy. Got our Star Destroyer pizza wedges in the middle, and just infinity minerals and bases, so this could be a long one.
Yeah, I hope we get a very long one. Maybe not as long as DeWalt versus, it's that Korean Terran that Flash taught. But there was like an hour-long game between DeWalt and that Terran.
Oh.
20,000 minerals. I don't need that long of a game.
Was it Sashin?
No, it was like an
Baxter. No, he's a third player.
But regardless,
we're
probably gonna have an epic one on Gladiator because that's just how Gladiator is.
That's just how it is. All right, let's do it. Let's get into it. Game number 2 on Gladiator. All right, let's get into it in the upper left-hand corner. Hold on, I gotta get my color palette out. I think this is just straight up blue. Yeah, all right, in the blue. Wow, feels so weird to say that. This is our Protoss player DragOn.
In the top right, he's killing it today. It is SPX. I think the Terran was Buell that I was thinking of, the one that Flash taught. That was a crazy game. It was like a have at you game. DeWalt literally had 20,000 minerals.
Oh, I remember watching that. Oh man, now that you mentioned that, that game is burned into my retinas. Holy. I remember, and DeWalt was just like trying to kill him over and over again. He had infinity money. He could make any combination of units he could possibly want. He just couldn't do it.
Yeah, the Gladiator, you have the potential to have banks like that. Maybe we can get a game like that. But based on how SPX is playing with just the aggro, whether it's 4 racks or 4 fact, we may not reach that point. And if he can get into a position like he did on Sylphid, it's going to be equally punishing. He's going to have high ground advantage at certain angles. So DragOn's got to be careful. But also SPX has got to be careful because Gladiator tends to be a map where Protoss is extremely aggro and they can just snowball the game from the get-go with something like a 1-gate Zealot Goon push or 2-gate 10-15 gate.
Yeah. I wouldn't say this is the most forward of gateways, but it is in fact the most far forward building, so I'm not going to characterize it that way. But hey, it's there. We don't have anything, or at least we haven't seen anything super aggressive from DragOn. He's not out there proxy gating or something like that. So at least that shows that he still thinks that he can stand toe to toe against SPX, who really, I wouldn't say overperforming, but just impressing at really every turn. So pretty cool to watch SPX really steamroll through this group.
Yeah, and he's not going to scout the middle, which is always dangerous on a map like Gladiator. The most imbalanced build that I personally face on Gladiator is when they go 12 Nexus, because they proxy so often that you got to scout it fast, you got to respect it, blind build Marines, and then you scout them and you see 12 Nexus and you're like, well, what do I do now? Because I spent so much resources scouting fast or cutting SCVs. It's like, well, did I just lose now? But we don't see that from DragOn. We do see the initial Zealot move out as expected. It's actually going to be 2 this time, not just 1.
Okay. I mean, at least it'll look like 1 initially, but yeah, that second Zealot coming through, and man, this is where you feel like your Marines are not ranged at all, because Zealots just run at them and hit them, and you're like, okay, well, this doesn't seem fair, but sometimes it just isn't. These Zealots are crazy good.
The SimCity for SPX is great. He's got the Depot Racks wall. He's got his factory in a position where he puts add-on that's going to block cells coming through the back, but he's got to control these Marines. And I like how DragOn just sent the Zealot without scouting, and he just blindly finds Terran on the first move.
Oh yeah, fantastic. I mean, this is a really highly skilled player. Like, you only get to do that if you're really good at finding where your opponent is.
Well, SPX has held this about as well as you're going to hold it. He took 1 hit from a Zealot and knocked it down to 55 health. That's pretty fantastic, but now I'm worried that he stopped building Marines because he got supply blocked rapid, and we've got a Goon on the high ground now.
Uh-oh. Oh, no, he's still supply blocked. He's still supply... I'm just going to keep saying it. He's still supply... This is going to be the longest supply block ever. He's finally unsupply blocked, but just look at how much that cost.
Look at the SCV control. It's nuts. Almost got the Goon. I thought for sure SPX was dead with the supply block.
He was sliding those things back and forth. Those like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater SCVs.
Yeah, that was really good. But there's still 2 Dragoons left, and the Marines are highly damaged. I hope the bunker gets up in time.
Yeah, so does SPX. I think it'll be up in time. I mean, the 2 Dragoons moving forward, yeah, the bunker up plenty of time, and it's got enough Marines to... This command center on the way?
Well, that really did not deal enough damage for DragOn, and 2 Zealots in the early game is not a huge commitment for the Protoss, but definitely not ideal to just flat out lose them for maybe, what was it, 1 Marine? Really? So SPX is going into the mid game in a good position. His command center is even ahead of the Nexus, and that's great. And also, DragOn's tech is delayed. Look at the Robo started at 450, and usually you're starting it at like 420-ish.
Is that when you're starting, Nyoken? Is that when you start your factory? Nice. Anyway, the second factory is on the way, but this time we don't have that super aggressive, FD, and I think that Dragon's probably pretty happy about that one. He took so much damage from mines. Oh my god.
Yeah, he took a lot of damage, and now he's just going to go into 3-gate observer. That means he's going to be playing pretty defensively, try and take a third base pretty soon. And SPX has a pretty fast second fact, and he's building tanks consistently, so he's probably going to move out again, maybe with like 5. Oh, as I say that, I see the armory coming down, so maybe he will just play a bit passive himself.
Yeah, I actually think we're probably going to see a really passive early game. I don't even know if we're going to have Dragon go across the map and hit that bunker. Time for that is kind of passed by now, so just playing back and defensive for both players. I mean, I want to see Dragon expand everywhere, build a bunch of gateways across the map, surround some armies, stasis the things, do the honorable macro Protoss plays, but it feels like he's just getting so smothered by how good SPX's macro is that, like, I mean, how are you going to stand up to that?
Yeah, well, I don't know how you stand up to it. It looks like SPX is kind of his own worst enemy this game, because we have another big supply block at 44, but he's recovering. He's got double depot going this time. And Dragon is still hasn't taken a third base at this point. He's really worried about an incoming attack. I guess his observer is so late that he doesn't know exactly what's going on, and he doesn't want to risk it.
It's hard when you don't have like a probe that's out, or a SCV that's out, or no, I was right the first time, a probe that's out there to give you any sort of real vision. I mean, he is scouting, like you said, with that first observer, but what are you looking for with your first observer? You're just like counting and making sure everything is the way it should be?
Yeah, you want to see how many factories it is. Is this going to be some type of weird marine medic play? Does it have a command center? Does it have an armory? If there's no armory, there's a timing. Even if you only see 2 factories, you know that there's going to be a factory flood at some point. Now he sees there's a command center, so he knows he's good to go, but I still don't see a probe in position anywhere to take a third base.
Yeah, what are we doing here? I thought that was a probe, but it's actually just an observer. There it is, the chosen probe coming down at the speed of sound. Is he gonna have 400 by the time he gets there? Just sliding into home base. Nice, perfect timing. Mr. Probe throws down the third base, and yeah, I would say a pretty good timing there. We do have another command center being built, but it's not on location for sure.
I'm looking at Dragon's build, and I think he's a bit thrown off, or kind of in between on builds, because he's got a shuttle and he's got 3 zealots, which is going to be a shuttle bomb somewhere, which is dangerous on Gladiator, but it wasn't a super fast shuttle. And now that SPX is going to have 4 factories up and he's already got Goliath out, I really don't see this working. I think Dragon's in kind of an awkward spot right now.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this is not the first time he's been in an awkward spot. Like, he's been able to work his way out of it just a little bit, but for the most part, I mean, I feel like he is hoping and praying that nothing brown colored comes his way, because if it does, I mean, even just the defense of this new third base, insane. He's going to scan to take out the observer and just make it that much harder to keep tabs on it. Although there is one more right to the east of it.
Well, here comes Dragon, and this is one of the problems of Gladiator for Terran, is there's really not a lot of buildable terrain. So this shuttle, 100% is going to get in here. It all comes down to how much splash these tanks are going to deal. But the racks, and we can spam depots at this angle. Oh, the shuttle's way ahead! Goliath doesn't see it, though.
Wow, yeah, that would have been a total tragedy. So here we go. One leading Dragoon just to kind of fish out the range at which these tanks are sieged. It's kind of an interesting way to do it. Here we go. Look at these Zealot bombs. Not actually very effective at all. Some of the friendly fire, but he's just fighting siege tanks with Dragoons. It's not a great recipe for success, Nyoken.
Yeah, an instant SCV pull. The repair isn't the greatest, but the Dragoon's getting blocked by the command center and the racks. SPX is going to hold for minimal losses, so that's pretty good. Well, the command center is getting focused down. He needs to repair it.
Yeah, it's taking quite a bit of damage, and it will get taken out. Beautiful push there by DragOn.
I can't believe DragOn actually got the command center there. I thought SPX was going to hold, but that's what DragOn needed because Terran was starting to run away with it. He's at 7 factories with upgrades going, and Protoss really didn't have anything. He just started his Stargate right now.
Well, yeah, obviously that is somewhat late. I'll call it that. But still, I feel like the surprising thing for me is usually it's the Terran player that we see push out and take out the Protoss player's third base, not vice versa. So really well done there by DragOn. He's already gotten out, dealt the first real blow, and even though there's another command center on the way, I don't even know if that's going to get up.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be a command center. SPX already has 7 facts, and DragOn did commit a lot to do that. So now SPX can go for a counterattack. And just like what you were saying with the Observer, what is the Observer looking for? Well, what does the Observer see right now? I mean, it sees 2 factories. We don't really have a count of what SPX has in terms of factories. He may think that he's in an okay spot with 4-gate, but 4-gate is not going to stop 7 facts.
This is some interesting Brood War math we're doing right here. Yeah, you're going to need somewhat more than 4 gateway units, even if you're pumping good units like Zealots. Oh, he's going to glitch the Vulture through? I thought he was going to use it. Yeah, drop a mine. Oh, he tried to do it. Maybe he's going to try one more time. Drop the mine, then glitch the Vulture through the pylon wall. No, I think he's just going to try to bust it down. Shouldn't take too long, and even though he's spamming cannons behind this, I don't know if those are going to be enough. Rewall, though, that's pretty nice.
DragOn's in big time. Well, SPX just took his 3rd base. I was going to say he's in big time trouble because SPX is going for a timing. And if we look at what DragOn is doing, he's spending a lot of resources on units or on buildings that aren't going to help versus the timing. The Arbiter Tribunal, Nexus going up, Cannons going up. He needs units because this tank count is at 12 now.
Ooh, yeah. I mean, he actually might do a pretty decent job here taking out the mines, just making sure to sweep everything on his side of the map. But the Vultures are going to try to get through here. Another mine drop, but they actually can't, and they're all targeting different pylons, so obviously that is somewhat suboptimal.
Yeah, and these 7 Dragoons are out of position. SPX, he's on the high ground. He's going to try, or DragOn's going to try and shuttle bomb. No. But Gladiator is hard to push across the map because you can't build turrets really anywhere. You're attacking up high ground. Wow, SPX is double expanding. This is so surprising to me, and attacking at the same time. So I don't know if this is just a contain, go split map, or what this is exactly.
This is just saying, hey, I like money. I would like to get that at some point. Build all the things. Like, it's got a little bit extra. Actually, speaking of extra, DragOn actually has quite a bit as well. But here we go. We're going to be moving in. Where are the Zealots? The shuttle is slow. And that means that all of these tank shots are going to just devastate the Dragoon line. Finally, a few Zealots get off, but man, those tank shots, the Arc-Light Cannon just firing away. The Zealots evaporate. So do the Dragoons. And all of a sudden, SPX has a 10 supply lead.
Yes, a massive anti-timing for DragOn. Speed just kicked in on his Zealots. And he just did not have a good engagement there. He could have just waited. Of course, the tank count is going to get higher and higher. You feel the pressure as Protoss. But attacking uphill, Terran versus into the Protoss is hard for Terran. And that time, DragOn just attacked uphill himself, and his Dragoons did nothing.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that was absolutely tragic because there's an order of operations. This is the PEMDAS of Brood War. It's like you have to send in your Zealots before your Dragoons. That's just kind of like the way it works. Whether you're running them in or dropping them in, whatever. If your Dragoons hit first, you're going to get smacked. So now all of a sudden, now it's a 20 supply advantage here. SPX really starting to run away with this.
Well, the Arbiter is out, and we know what the Arbiter can do.
Okay.
But the tank count is extremely high. If SPX does continue to wait, the Arbiter will have stasis eventually, but here he goes.
Yeah, nice cloaking field. There's the scan to try to take out some of these Zealots. Another couple of volleys there. The Zealots do get actually on top of the tanks. It's so hard for them to get taken out, but the Vultures do their job. That'll push the Protoss army back for now.
And this has got to be it, right? We have 4 goons versus a massive Terran army. I don't see how you stop this. as Protoss. We just don't have anything. He's got 4 base, but SPX has got 4 base himself.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think you just got too much. Even just with this pushing force, like that's bigger than almost the entire Dragon army combined, and now pushing up to kind of force the issue, laying the mines. Oh no, he's gonna mine drag with the Dragoons. What? That's not supposed to. Oh no, now he loses everything. Oh, this is so tragic, Nyoken.
Yeah, and now just, oh well, the tanks are split off, and Zealots coming from the top. Those will get wiped out. A big stasis at the bottom. SPX is losing all of his units. What just happened?
Well, I mean, I can tell you, maybe he just doesn't like the stop command. Some nice friendly fire and a decent stasis in the back to get 5 tanks with 1 stasis. More than a lot of stasis I sees, but there's plenty more where that came from. SPX just flowing over, flooding Dragon's bases. The time is now, and that base is about to be pretty dead. So, I mean, Arbiter came out and was able to do some cool stuff, but ultimately, at least one of them gets flown away and saved. The other, super healthy, and oh man, everything healthy here for SPX. Nothing really quite looking that way for Dragon. Boom goes the dynamite, the mines explode and kill themselves, and we are still playing this game with just a little bit of everything.
Yeah, but now that the tank's unstasis, and we've got high grounded shooting onto the 3rd and shooting onto the natural.
Yeah.
Gotta be it for Dragon. There it is. GG, SPX makes it out in 1st place.
Wow, that's super impressive. I think I definitely wanted SPX or Dragon to like show why he was already pre-qualified for making top 4 last season. But wow, SPX just doesn't take no for an answer. This guy is killing it and advances on as our first player from Group A into the round of 8. So congratulations.
Yeah, I think that is the first time he made top 8 also. So that's really impressive. You can see that he has definitely improved over the past few months. I knew he had improved because I played him on ladder. I'm like, his early game's pretty good, man. And I was really thinking that he might make it. But unfortunately, Dragon goes down, but at least he's going to be in the decider match between, or we're going to have to see who it is, whether it's Gornich or Tai 2.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that is the matchup coming up next. So another best of 3. One of these players is going to be eliminated from Group A.